Today, we're working on an art piece to explore your personal freedoms and the limiting beliefs that go along with that. We often accept the status quo in our lives, the habits, beliefs, and limitations we place on ourselves without realizing it, and can limit our ability to live authentically to ourselves. I'm going to be using watercolor, it's my favorite. You can use marker, you could use colored pencil, you could use crayons, whatever is your favorite medium to use. If you're using watercolor like me, you're going to want to take a spray bottle and spray your paints just to wake them up, let the color come out. You're going to want a cup with water as well as paintbrushes. I have flat ones here. I'm going to, for this project, use flat and round ones, but I'm going to start with flat. Okay, I think I'm going to grab this smaller brush and just get it a little wet. We're going to be starting at this top right corner and making it down to the bottom left. You can go whatever direction you want. That's just the direction I'm choosing to go. And I'm going to choose my paint here before moving on. So maybe I want to go with a blue, maybe a green, but I think right now I'm going to be choosing a pinkish sort of red color. And I'm going to start in this top right and hard edged shapes like squares, rectangles, things that have hard edges. Then we are going to do some writing a little later inside of them. So you're going to want to make them at least big enough that you can write in a little bit. We're just going to ponder some self-limiting beliefs here. I was someone who followed the rules and did the expectations, and I never questioned about it. It didn't really matter. It didn't occur to me that I could ask why. But my son has autism and he questions everything. And he taught me that I should be maybe asking questions, saying, when I've been answering him, I've realized, oh, like you can ask these questions. And sometimes there isn't really a good answer why. So it's always good to be able to stop yourself and ask. Okay, so in these squares, I'm just going to add a little bit of extra color because it's fun, because why not? I love adding a little extra detail in there. And then we're going to move on to this next section. We're going to be softening all the edges. We're going to be making them softer. So maybe they're a little more round, oval shape. I'm going to grab some orange. You grab whatever color speaks to you. And we're going to go right next to these rectangle square shapes. And with each one that I make, I'm going to mentally ask the question, why? So maybe while you've been making those squares, you already have some self-limiting beliefs that have come to mind, and you're going to start to ask, why? Really make these nice and round, and really make as many of these, if you can, make as many of these as you've made of the rectangles or squares, just so you have the answers. Okay, and then we're going to move on to some softer, even more free form shapes, just wiggly shapes. Oop, before we do that, I think I want to add a little color to these ovals. They don't have enough color on them. So let's just dab a little bit on the edges. And then these squiggly shapes are even looser. They're softer. They're like going all over the place, like little worms or snails or whatever. You're just softening them. And these are shapes I'm choosing. If you want to choose different shapes, please, by all means, do. This is your process art piece. And as you're making these shapes, you're going to want to be letting go. Don't think about necessarily answering the questions. Um, just let go. Relax into making the piece. Just say, I can make whatever shape I want to make. I'm just gonna go for it. Let go. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little bit of, this is my favorite color on the palette. It's this bluish turquoise color. And I'm just gonna dab it into my shapes here. And you do not have to do this part. This is just something that I find fun. I like a lot of color. This one has a little too much water. So if you want to do that, you just dry your brush and take a little bit of water off. And then we're gonna go that extra step. You're gonna really freeform. I'm gonna grab a round brush for this one. And you're going to, without thinking, put your brush to the paper and make marks. They can overlap some of the other shapes if you choose to. You can make squiggles, dots, crosses, X's. Just don't even think about it. put the brush to the paper. I even spent a moment thinking about it and thought, nope, I thought too long about it. Just make the marks. Just do whatever comes to mind. You really want to let your brain just kind of be quiet for a second. And you can either wait for it to dry, go grab a cup of tea, or use a heat gun. I like to continue adding details so I can go through a little bit of this mantra again. So I'm going to start again at the top here. And now I'm going to add some little line detail to it. Not the whole thing, but I really want to emphasize the fact that these are very square, rectangular. They're very angular. And then I'm going to move on to those more circular shapes. And in each circular shape, as I make this rounded edge and these little dots, I'm going to almost use it like a question mark. I'm asking why multiple times. Why? Why? Really trying to think, is this something that I should hold on to or shouldn't? And then I'm going to relax a little bit more. Maybe I don't have the answer yet, but I'm loosening up to the idea. So I'm moving some little freeform, wiggly shapes as I'm mentally just relaxing into the idea that I don't have an answer yet, but I am at least asking the question. And then as I get into these lower ones, I'm going to go free. I am just going to like put on some marks wherever I want, just not even thinking that much about it. Just circles and dots and hashes and wiggles and all over the paper, wherever I feel compelled to make a mark. You can make whatever marks you choose to or not choose to make. Try not to think too much about it. I did even find myself thinking about it for a second, had to be like, nope, don't think about it, just make a mark wherever feels natural to you to make. Okay, so then we're going to start to fill in this top part with our limiting beliefs, the things that you personally feel limited by. So these are just some that come for me. I need to be perfect. I need to be perfect. Is that really true? Okay. I don't have control. Or instead of saying I don't have control, you could say I am powerless. I need to make other people happy. It's too late. Maybe I'm not good enough for whatever it is. Change is too hard. Oh, change is too hard. Okay, so these are my personal ones. Fill them in with whatever you're feeling are just internal limitations that you are telling yourself. And then in all of these lower ones, we are going to ask why. We're going to look at each one of these and we're going to go, why? I'm going to go to this next one and I'm going to go, I need to make other people happy. Why? I am powerless. Why? Change is too hard. Why? I'm not good enough. Why? And it's too late. Why? We're going to now move on to these lower ones and say, is this true? And if it isn't, we're going to make a statement about it and put it within these green ones. Don't worry if you don't have the answer to those questions right now. Keep this close by, come back to it when you feel like you've got the statements. It's too late. It's not too late. It's never too late. Let's see. Change is too hard. I've done hard things. I've done it. I've done hard things before, and I can do them again. I need to be perfect. No one cares that I'm perfect. I need to make other people happy. Okay, here's a
other people make themselves happy? Themselves. That one looks like it has a sad face with eyeballs. That one's funny. Let's see. What's another question? Ooh, I'm not good enough. What am I not good enough for? Am I not good enough? I am as good as anyone else. I'm as good as anyone else. Okay. I am powerless. Am I powerless? No, I have agency. I do have agency. These are the personal ones I've just picked out. You choose whatever you'd like to write. And just reminding yourself that personal freedom is not a destination to get to, but a practice encouraged to question what you might be holding you back every day and to come back to this practice.